Jay-Z may not have the dopest single. He's not gonna have the head banger, but he's a billionaire. Why? His body of work is sick. I don't care if you like him or not. Now you can go out here and listen to the people that's making you do the current dance, but do they have Jay-Z's longevity? My point is, the way you create the balance that you're looking for is to get whole. See, you only have to disconnect from your idol if you're weak. Then, if you can't handle the comparison, then you might want to disconnect. But when you whole and you're like, I aspire to be him, I aspire to be better than him, not by likes and comments and shares, but you understand that true value doesn't come from quantity, it comes from quality. So I'm not knocking what you're saying because I get it. But the way you find that balance is to make yourself so strong that comparison doesn't bother you.
And how would you recommend, because this interview is so good,
Yeah.
how would you recommend people to create that wholeness?
Yeah.
Is it by being unbalanced and being okay? Okay, right now I'm unbalanced.
Focus on this. You just answered it. Yeah. Right now, I said, like we talked about my career and my college years. I said, right now, I'm going to be a little bit unbalanced, and that's okay. I'm not going to make any of the step shows. I'm not going to, actually I did. I used to film them and then sell them to the, sell them back to the sororities and fraternities. But I was always, that was back then we had the little camcorder, the beta. I made the step shows, but I wouldn't participate. Brian, you didn't pledge nothing? Nope, I pledged me by me. That's what I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Brian, you're not going to the Friday Tuskegee homecoming, this and that? No, man, I can't, man. I got a convention coming up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Some of these guys I'm working with teaching me about this network marketing thing, and I'm excited about it. So I was terribly unbalanced socially. But now I'm extremely balanced socially because I bit the bullet back then. Right. Be okay being off balance for a little while, because guess what? You off balance somewhere now. It's just that in America, when you start focusing on balancing your money, people make you feel guilty about that. Yeah. I got a training called No Breaks for Entrepreneurs, right? No Breaks for Entrepreneurs, and I talk about it. If I was in the military and I couldn't make your wedding, and I was overseas,
it's all good.
It's all good.
Hey,
I played for the Blue Jays, and I was a pitcher, and you know baseball, they on the road like 60% of the year. I can't come back for the funeral, man. We play. It's all good, right? If I am a firefighter and I gotta work the night shift, it's all good.
Right.
Tell them same people, man, you in the studio creating a project, oh man, they ain't tripping, man. Working on this little bit, everything you're doing, working on this little business, everything little.
Right.
It's entrepreneurs don't get the same perks and benefits that others get because in other people's minds, this isn't guaranteed. So if you miss my wedding and miss my birthday party and miss my whatever, then your business better work. And then I ended training with this. That's why I had to make sure it did. So it was worth me missing all that stuff. And now everybody want to come back. Boy, when you were little, boy, you always had a little gray streak when you were little. Your daddy, you look like your daddy. Boy, your daddy said you was gonna be special. Now everybody want to be a fortune teller. If entrepreneurship don't work, I told you it wasn't gonna work. If it worked, boy, that gray streak when you were little, boy, you looked just like your daddy, boy. We knew you was gonna be special.
Hilarious.
So they can't be wrong. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure it works so you can make all the stuff that's gonna have you unbalanced worth it later.
Right.
Yeah.
What percentage would you say is, when it comes to being successful as an entrepreneur, what percentage would you say is mental? And what percentage would you say is your ability to perform?
Yeah. I'm gonna use the 80-20 rule on that one. I think it's 80% mental. Because even man, again, I follow you more than you think. You did this, I think recently, like last week, you were talking about social proof and how you heavy into it, and this thing got to pan out because of and you said, I'm glad my brand is not one where I look all perfect and I'm act like I'm never afraid, because I'm nervous as hell. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't the only, and you even said it, like I ain't the only one I ain't carrying it by myself, but I'm nervous as hell. This thing getting big and I got a lot on the line, right? Okay, so what do we all do, including myself? We start questioning ourselves. Like, am I really ready for this? Right. Am I really ready for that? Am I who I think I am? Because when you're in the industry where everybody always tells you good, you start believing you good. Yeah. Then after a while, you can say, well, that ain't what's reflected in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? If you're not careful. That's why I got out of network marketing for a long time, because we had to tell you were good even if you weren't, because that's what kept you in the game.
Gotcha.
So it's 80% mental because the self-talk, the doubt, and the disbelief, and the am I good enough, the second guessing, should I have done this? All of that is gonna creep in. Yeah.
How do we fix that? How do we fix that? Like somebody that's like, they can't help but be afraid or nervous or to feel like they're inadequate.
Yeah.
Where do they start?
Yeah. Well, what I do, man, I tell people, you got to seek inspiration and not motivation. You know, inspiration starts with IN for a reason, because it's internal. So what I did was I built my inspiration up by studying people that I look up to that are vulnerable enough to share that they felt the same way. Then I know I'm okay. Because if you felt like this and you wanted to quit, or you felt like this and you felt like more people should hear your message, and you felt like that too, then that changes your core to let you know that that's just a part of the process. You know, that's why you got to go to events like Social Proof. You have to understand that if you're still looking for something outside to make you whole and spark you, you know, you're in for a long journey. But you change it by changing who you are and letting people tap into you that you believe in, but they got to be genuine and honest enough about their story. And so you can say, okay, I'm on the right track if I feel that way. That's how you flip it. If you're nervous, good. If that program costs a little bit more than you think you have, that's a good thing. When you're stretching yourself and you know good and hell well you're not good at video, but you're going to shoot it anyway, that's a good thing. When you start accepting and bearing all and letting your flaws, because, man, I tell people all the time, man. Look, right now, man, I'm 10 pounds lighter. I had the flu in March, and my metabolism is high, so it's hard for me to gain weight. I lose it like that.
Really?
I'm 10 pounds lighter. Now, if I was in front of the camera, man, I look a little thinner than normal. I mean, people don't know I've been under the weather. It's still bothering me a little bit this week. I just got off stage. I feel some kind of way. Man, look. Don't nobody care about none of that but you.
Don't nobody care but you.
You've been looking like that your whole life. Now, all of a sudden that you got to shoot film, you got to have perfect skin. Now, all of a sudden that you got to shoot video, your everything got to be tight. You've been looking at you the whole time, but now that it's time to make some money, you want to justify and find an excuse as to why you're not producing. So let's cut it out, man. Cut it out. Look, you've been looking like this forever.
Right.
Okay. People that don't know me don't know. Look, it ain't like I'm a big guy either way, Dave. My 10 pounds.
Right.
Only I know that. It ain't like normally I'm, you know, what's up? I'm not your height. I've never been a big guy. Never will be. So quit tripping on the 10 pound. Shoot the damn video and let's go. You know what I mean?
Real. That's real. Yo, I was asking you before we started talking. I was just like, yo, because I just got married. Tom Darnell, he was here. You know, he got engaged, and I was like, yo, Brian, you married? He said, nah.
Nah.
Never been married.
Never been married. Nah, I've never been married before. And, you know, it's funny. The reason I don't think I've been married is because for a long time, I was looking for, like, perfection, and it don't exist. I actually went to therapy for that. I'm like, why am I looking for a relationship without conflict? It don't exist. Why am I looking for the perfect person when I'm imperfect? It don't exist. And here's what my therapist told me. She said, Brian, and by the way, and I always talk about therapy because it's good, man. It's good. It don't mean something wrong with you. It just means you want to share, you want to be as vulnerable as possible with somebody that has a education much higher than yours in a specific field. And a lot of times that brain of yours and that mind of yours and those thoughts of yours have to be reprogrammed. So my therapist said, she said, Brian, think about this. How were you growing up? I said, man, I always tell people, my childhood was the bomb. I told you, both sides of the tracks, both parents. My leash was really, really, really long. Some people had to come in when the street light came on. My mama didn't care. Look, I'm talking about Wayne Williams and everything. My mama was like, look, you smart, don't be a fool, y'all stay together, bring your butts home in a reasonable amount of time. I'm a little bitty something, catching the MARTA train from College Park all the way up to Lenox and Brookhaven by myself. You know what I mean? So I told my therapist, I had a long leash. She looked at the notes. She said, okay, you also retired at 22. I said, yeah. She said, okay. She said, you good at basketball? I said, in the hood. I never played any organized sports though. She said, why? I said, I ain't like people yelling at me. She said, you quit your job, you retired and fired your boss from Bank of America. I said, yeah. She said, you don't like anything that looks like control. So it hit me right then. I said, I got it. I got it.
Oh, I feel like your therapist just talked to me.
Yeah.
I feel like your therapist is talking to you through me.
Through you,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So anything to me in my mind that looks like I gotta let her know I'm coming home. What time? I gotta check on her and make sure she did. So it's nothing, and I had to learn that something was wrong with me. It's nothing wrong with having a partner that you check on, that y'all get through this thing called life together. But because of how I was raised with a long leash, then I found my entrepreneurship blessing really early in life. I don't like people talking to me any kind of way. I've been my own man for so long. How do you then answer these questions when you coming home? Not that she got to be henpecked, but I viewed anything as, whoa. I'll be back when I get back. Now I got to fly out of here, and I don't feel like explaining this to you because you don't understand what I do. So I've been married to my business. And I'm not telling anybody that's a good thing. It's just the reason I haven't gotten married yet. It took me a minute to understand why it just wasn't at the top of my priority list. But nobody wants to die alone, and nobody wants to be non-committed. It's just that I was committed to success and high achievement, and I didn't find that person along that particular journey at that particular time that was committed to the same thing and understood me. So now I'll acquiesce and compromise more because I'm not on the grind. I'm on a different kind of grind, and I don't mind having that person with me. But yeah, so far, man, never been married.
Yeah, you know, it's so crazy because my wife would want me to, like, I get on a plane, and when I land, she wants me to call her and let her know that I landed.
Yeah.
But
Which makes
in
sense.
my mind, I'm thinking, yo, you trying to control me?
He's trying to control me, right?
I'm like, yo,
no news is
I'm
good
good.
news. If something happened, you would know.
Right.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
when I take off and when I land, so in a regular person's mind, you're like, that's a fair ask. But I had this
like
thing
me.
in my brain, like, yo, you try, like,
Why are you trying to know my every move?
yeah,
You know what I'm
my
saying?
every move is just a flight, and then come on, like you hear something on the news at the play crack.
Then you know.
In my sick brain.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
That's why when you're saying it, I'm like, this is amazing. I'm about to just go home and apologize.
Yeah,
to
man.
Everything.
And I had to learn. She's asking because she cares.
She cares.
Now, worry
and
about
I'm
it.
blaming her for caring.
Right.
That's
now,
stupid.
worry about it when she stopped asking. That's when you need to, when she stopped asking if you're okay, let me know you made it safe. Now you need to worry about it. But we don't think about that till they stop asking. Like, you don't care where I'm at no more? What's going now we flip it. What's going on with you?
Right.
Somebody else, you got somebody else you asking these questions to? It may not go that far. But you need to be worried when she stopped asking questions. So yeah, man, it took me to understand that. And here she said something real strong. She said, because I have a son who's 16. She said, I want you to understand that if your son grows up thinking that it's okay to not be married, you could start, and she made sure she qualified that, you could start a generational curse of, it's okay. We just kind of freestyle our whole lives. You know what I'm saying? If we're in a relationship, we cool. If we not, we cool. And just make sure, Brian, that he's around people, he sees some solid, good relationships, solid grandparents, and luckily his mom's side has that. You know what I'm saying? So my parents got separated, and it's cool. And I'm not married, and it's cool. But it takes 3 generations to break a curse. So I got to make sure that he at least sees that just because dad waited a little later, it doesn't mean that being in a relationship and working towards marriage is a bad thing. Dad just grew up a little different. Pops was out here married to the business, and Pops thought that anything that looks like questions, confinement, accountability, where you going, what you doing, what we eating, what time we leaving, what. Man, this a lot, man. I got to worry about my business and this too.
Right.
You know, so she said, Brian, you seem to have everything you want. You got your son. He's incredible. You got your business. Very few people are happy with what they do. You love what you do. So you really don't feel like you need anything extra. She was like, but I'm here to tell you, you find the right person that fits into that, it'll take everything you have and multiply it by 10.
Wow.
Then you know what I do. What if I find the wrong person? You know what I'm saying? That's how the mind works. What if it ain't? Did she get half my stuff? You know, you start that, what's up with the prenup though, Doc? You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking like that, even when I ain't having 2 nickels. You know, what I heard about this half, and she get this and that. So it's been a process, man. It's been a process, and I'm here to tell you, it comes with growth and maturity and all of us mature in different areas at different times.
What is your take on dating people that you work? Because I'm sure you've had some people that you work with. Does that never work out?
Man, I've dated people I work with, and I've dated people outside the business, and it's you want to get
Same.
stabbed or shot? No, I'm just joking. It's yeah, it's the same result, because what it is, it's not whether they're in the business or not. It's whether or not this particular person can handle what you do or not. So in other words, when you date in the business, if you're not emotionally intelligent, y'all have a fallout, and you on stage, when you get to a certain level, you on stage trying to play it off. Stand up, babe. Yeah, that's my boo. And y'all just had the big, you're like, I don't even know if this gonna last another month after
Right.
the argument we just had. But while she at the convention, you got to stand up and recognize her.